As a celebrant and having done quite a few funerals, I think it's very important. I can see the value of people talking about what their wishes are before, if they know that they're not going to be here for much longer in their lives. So if people are very sick and in hospital and know that the end is coming closer, I think it's very important for families to, but even if not, in saying that, I still think it's a great idea for people to discuss their wishes.
I've had the conversation with my mum and dad because I believe it's important for me and my sister to know their wishes when they come to the end of their life. If we don't know, it makes it really hard to know what they would have wanted, so how do I know the best choice to make? I don't want to get to that point and say, well, I'm not sure what Dad wanted, but I know my dad wants to be buried, I know where he wants to be buried, I know my mum wants to be cremated, I know where I want to be buried. I've had that conversation with my husband just in case the unforeseen happens. I don't believe that having the conversation means that it's going to happen to me any faster than what it would have, but I think that it's going to happen anyway, so why not make those around you more prepared, be prepared for my parents, so when the time comes I can make a decision without having to think that I'm making the wrong one, and I know that I'm doing it with the love that they gave me and that knowledge.
What you'd have to do is you got to talk to your mum or your dad or whoever's sick in the family. Might be a son, might be a daughter, there might be people out there that's got cancer, you know, and you know they're going to die. You've got to talk to them. It's no good of someone coming up and passing away and, oh, why didn't we talk about it? You've got to talk about it because we're all going to die. I'm going to die. Everyone's going to. We don't want to, but that's what's going to happen. You must talk. And it's a comfort thing if you talk. If you don't talk, you don't know what to do. It puts you in a spot. Oh, what did she want? What did Dad want? What did Mum want? There's nothing there. There's nothing there. You got to talk to them. They know. And that's what we got out of Mum. Mum told me, she said, I do not want a funeral. She said, don't give me a funeral. I don't want it pulled in and out of a church. I just want to be, you kiss me, Eileen, and send me off to be cremated, and then you work out how you're going to put me with Owen.
Well, I think it's good to discuss. If you know someone's eventually going to go, it's good to discuss it and know what you're actually doing. And I think the family should know what your wishes are if you happen to go. It's not just not leave it up to the family at the end to decide what you want, and someone's not going to be happy with it. That we know that's going to happen, but if you decide that, well, I want to go this way, that's how it's got to be, and the family's got to just respect your wishes.
I think that people don't talk about their funeral choices or have that conversation within their family because I think it is a difficult subject to speak about. I think that funerals are such a traumatic event in a family, and I think that to have that discussion is laced with so many different emotions for families. I think that the ability for people to talk openly, it's very much generational. I think that as you go down and have a look at the generations, we've opened up more and more about taboo subjects in our lives in general. Like, I remember talking to my dad about going into, to watch, his children being born. Now, this is only 40 or 50 years ago, and that was a real step outside. The father's going in to watch birth. Now it's unheard of that families don't go in for the birth, and they have other people. And so I think that we are breaking down those traditional, difficult subjects, and I think that as good funeral directors, we have that ability to drive that discussion as well by providing resources and points of discussion in our social media branding, in our general day-to-day interaction, whether it be down doing the banking and if someone sees a funeral director, or you're at the pub and someone asks you about a funeral service. It's all in the way that we as funeral professionals portray that image to our outside community. If we're open and happy to have that chat, or if we're like, oh, let's talk about it tomorrow at work, come in and see me tomorrow at work, I think that it's all about the way that we portray our own industry. And I think that as we become more professional and more secure in our roles and more secure in our influence on families in one of the most difficult times, that will also then carry across to the way we're portrayed in the community. And it's up to us to break down those barriers. When it's all said and done, we've got to be out there and be proactive, talking about these things and giving people a forum and the position to chat about these things.
We talked about it, we said, what do you want? I said, it's not just me who's doing it, it's for you as well. And he said, I want it private. I don't want the great mass and hordes coming. They'll be there for you, he said. But he said, that's not what I want. And I said, that's fine. This is your day, so to speak. And so we talked about what he wanted, and I said, would you mind if it was an open casket? And he said no, he'd be very happy with that. We then decided he didn't want it anywhere he wasn't known, he wanted it at home. So that's what we decided. It was by invite only, although an awful lot of people did turn up who knew it was on, and they just came, and that was lovely. We didn't have enough seats for them, but we had over 50 people at the house, so we managed to fit them in, and it was the most wonderful experience.